Hello folks, this is another video about adding multiple columns to our Markdown documents. And in this video we're going to talk about Pagedown. Pagedown is designed to solve an annoying problem with RMarkdown. Often we want to design things that we want to print out with RMarkdown. So we might be writing a report and we know that we want to print that report out so we can hand it to people, or they want to download it from a website and print it off. Now, usually the answer to how to create printed content with RMarkdown is that you create PDF documents. But customizing PDF documents is difficult. You need to use LaTeX for it, and it's learning a whole new typesetting tool. So, what Pagedown allows us to do is it allows us to write HTML documents with pagination, and therefore printing, as the primary goal. This is really useful because there's lots of packages that are used in RMarkdown to generate HTML, and it would be really nice if we could use those to create paginated files instead of having to go and write everything in LaTeX itself. Pagedown is absolutely wonderful for this, and it allows us to create so many different types of content. So we're looking at something here that's much different from anything you've seen so far in R in 3 months. This is a letter. This is a letter that has been typeset with Pagedown. So we can see my address is up here and your address would be over here. The text is quite well spaced out, so maybe we would change if we were actually writing a letter to try and save some paper. But this is one of the formats available to us from Pagedown. I want to load up the Pagedown website. So I've got lots of browser windows open. Oh, not that one. There we go. So this one here is the documentation for Pagedown. And I just wanted to show you all of the different types of content we can create with Pagedown. So we can create we can create paginated HTML documents, which are really good for creating books. So the core documentation for Pagedown is this book, which you can print out. There's also a thesis paged format, which is really good for creating theses. The journal and statistical software has a Pagedown style. There's also a built-in one for resumes or CVs in the UK. So if you want to write your resume or CV, then you can do that in RMarkdown, and you can see that it even has a 2-column layout, and we'll get to how that's achieved in a moment. And we can even design posters, and so these posters, they have even more multiple columns inside of them, and there's more that you can do. You can business cards, and finally letters, which is what I'm showing to you. So let's go back to RStudio, and this is my output document, and I wanted to show you the actual RMarkdown document itself. So the output type is Pagedown : HTML letter. So we could change it to one of the other formats from Pagedown by changing this bit of code here. Okay. And then what I've done is I've added multiple columns to this in 2 different ways. I've done it using the 3 colons, which I introduced in the other video about formatting RMarkdown documents in HTML documents. So it uses 3 colons. And this uses divs. So if we go to the RMarkdown document itself, we can scroll down through here, and you can see I've been a little bit clever here. So I've used an HTML class here, page break before, and so that's why there's a nice clean page break here. So that's one of the really nice advantages of using Pagedown, is we can use HTML to control where things page break. So we can make sure we have a page break before a heading, we can make sure it doesn't appear inside of a column, or it doesn't appear inside a paragraph. It's really useful for controlling pagination. Okay, so then you can see that we're using a 3-colon syntax. So we use 4 colons here to open up a div, and we have the corresponding closing div down there. We have our open and our close div for the first column. If we go and compare that to the actual div syntax itself, you can see exactly the same thing. So you can see our open div, which defines our row, our close div. And how is this working? Well, this is working thanks to Flexbox. So I mentioned Flexbox as being a really good solution for creating multiple columns where you want them to always exist independent of the browser width. So Flexbox is amazing for doing this, and that's what Pagedown uses. So the Pagedown formats which have multiple columns in them, they are using Flexbox internally by using either the actual explicit div syntax or the pairs of colon syntax. Okay?